Are you being led to believe certain myths as a graphic designer? Today we're going to explore 3 commonly voiced opinions in the design community and why I believe they are myths and you shouldn't take notice of them. So welcome back to Satori Graphics, and I might get a degree of hate for today's topic, but after 15 years as a graphic designer, I do personally believe that all 3 parts of today's video are myths that you shouldn't really take much notice of. And the first myth is the golden ratio. Yes, I can hear the outcries already, people saying things like the Apple logo does adhere to the golden ratio. Well, actually, it doesn't. And there is a link below of somebody who's gone into great detail to prove how the golden ratio doesn't apply to the Apple logo. But that aside, the myth I often hear is that the golden ratio is useful, when in fact it really isn't that useful. Furthermore, it's impossible to apply the golden ratio to anything in the real world, and that's simply because the mathematical numbers don't actually add up properly. The decimal point of the golden ratio is recurring, that means it doesn't actually ever end. So instead of the golden ratio being 1.618, it's actually 1.618033 and so on forever. On top of that, to quote Keith Devlin, the golden ratio can only be traced back to 2 people in history, one of whom was misquoted and the other was just simply making stuff up. Now again, I'm going to leave links below because I don't want to go into the finer details of this today simply because it'd take too much time. But you can check out the history of the golden ratio and how it's been debunked. But the main problem I have with the golden ratio as a graphic designer is that it kind of restricts your creativity. You kind of box yourself in and you limit the actual chance and the opportunities you have when coming up with ideas for a logo design as an example. You should never ever corner yourself into a design box like this, and I personally have never used the golden ratio in any of my designs. It could be a bit of fun, but it really holds no ground and no truth to the real world. The second myth today is that you need a degree to get anywhere in the graphic design industry. Now right off the bat, I don't have a degree in graphic design. I do have a national diploma, and I did attend university, but I dropped out in the second year. Now I've never used my national diploma for anything else apart from actually applying and getting into university. 20 or so years ago, having a degree would have been more important, and today it will help you gain certain design positions within a design agency or a team, but it's becoming less and less important. With social media being such a powerhouse of free advertising and having the internet to learn pretty much anything you want, people are able to become a designer and leverage a business all on their own accord, all from their computer. It isn't easy, but most things in life worth doing aren't easy. Having a degree does take up a lot of time and you're often left with a huge amount of student debt as well. Now I'm not saying a degree is useless because they do give way to high-paying design jobs with your foot in the door, so to speak, but you still need a good portfolio even if you have a degree. Now, it should be noted that I've learned the vast majority of my design skills after leaving university. Just something to think about there. And the last myth today that designers seem to think is that you need countless gadgets and the best design equipment going. This applies to mainly the designers in the early stages of their career and who haven't developed their knowledge or their skills yet. Instead of spending a whole lot of time, energy, money worrying about the latest bit of tech, it's going to be a lot more fruitful to concern yourself with skills and your approach. For the vast majority of my career, I've used a computer, mouse, keyboard, and occasionally a drawing tablet. That's it. Of course, your niche will determine if you need, say, an advanced drawing tablet for illustration purposes, or a scanner and so forth. But I feel people put too much emphasis on technology and gadgets. You can have the best tech on the market and be sat in a room full of gadgets, but your designs might be terrible. You need to have the skills first and foremost. So the myth busted here is that you don't need the best tech and you don't need a lot of tech to succeed as a graphic designer. What do you think about these 3 myths today, and are there other myths that you've been told as a graphic designer? Let me know down below, and of course subscribe to my channel for weekly graphic design content. And until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.